Welcome to Top 30. Here are today's top 30 stories in 30 minutes.
If you're one of the more than 51 million people expected to fly this holiday season, you might want to listen up. You know you can't bring knives, lighters, or liquids more than 3.4 ounces on a plane, but you might want to rethink bringing wrapped Christmas gifts too. Technically, they're allowed, but then you risk TSA tearing apart your beautiful wrapping job just to further investigate what's inside. So here are some other do's and don'ts when traveling over the holidays. Surprisingly, ice skates, Christmas lights, Christmas trees, turkeys, hams, pies, and cookies are allowed on your flight. But most airlines have banned Christmas crackers, saying they're a fire hazard, and mistletoe with berries are restricted on incoming U.S. flights. Pine cones, chestnuts, and holiday wreaths also have specific restrictions. But really, have you ever seen anyone flying with a Christmas tree? The Dow has closed at a record high 70 times this year, which is a record high of record high closes in a year. The former record was set in 1995 when the Dow had 69 record high closures that year. According to a new study published in the British Medical Journal, a group of researchers in the UK have pinpointed the perfect amount of coffee to reap the maximum benefits from caffeine, and it's 3 8-ounce cups. Benefits of drinking this much coffee include lowering the risk of dying from cardiovascular disease by 19%, from coronary heart disease by 16%, and dying from a stroke drops by 30%. And package thieves prompted a Tacoma, Washington man to take matters into his own hands. 34-year-old Jeremy Barrow started rigging packages with a 12-gauge shotgun blank that goes off when thieves pick up the decoy box. Clearly, they've learned their lesson.
Serena Williams is one of the best tennis players ever, a successful fashion designer and worth millions of dollars. But one thing she hasn't mastered, dealing with a teething baby. Williams put up this picture on her Instagram account showing her baby Alexis. The caption says she's tried everything from amber beads to homeopathic water to get her baby girl to stop crying, but nothing's worked. Thousands of people responded offering advice, like, "This too shall pass." And others had some fun with Serena's tough time, tweeting, "And you thought winning Wimbledon was hard." Look, we've all been there, and it's honestly good to see that our favorite celebrity moms, at the end of the day, are just moms.
Time now to head to the New York Stock Exchange and the Fox Business Minute with Nicole Petalides. And Nicole, I know you got a story involving Uber use and ambulances.
That's right, Alex. If you've ever been slammed with an ambulance bill, well, you know costs can be quite pricey, ranging from $200 to over $2 grand. Turns out cities with Uber have lower rates of ambulance usage. A new economic study finds that the app reduced per capita ambulance usage rates by around 7%. It also found that a reduction of just a few minutes can drastically improve survival rates for serious conditions. Price wars are on for smart speakers. Amazon has created a race to the bottom with its growing lineup of smart speakers, with prices down more than 50% in less than a year. This could complicate Apple's HomePod prospects at $349. The HomePod is more expensive than Amazon's top-of-the-line Echo Show with video screen. Well, Twitter will be issuing a warning before users can see pictures with Nazi swastikas and other items it determines are hateful imagery.
So, Nicole, that's an interesting concept, but how is that actually going to be enforced?
Twitter is developing unspecified internal tools to help identify accounts in violation of their new terms. Hate imagery will now fall under the rubric of Twitter's sensitive media policy. A number of accounts have already been suspended. More at Top 30 when we return.
A hip-hop mogul wants to buy the Carolina Panthers, and at least 2 well-known athletes want in on the deal.
I will have the best halftime show, the best selection of music, and we will win Super Bowl.
Diddy was all over social media talking about his desire to purchase the team. He mentioned there are no African-American majority owners in the league and that he wants to make history. One of the people supporting the move? Colin Kaepernick. In fact, the former quarterback tweeted that he wanted in on the ownership group. Kaepernick ignited a national controversy after he kneeled during the national anthem during the 2016 season, saying he was protesting the unfair treatment of minorities. An NBA sharpshooter Steph Curry tweeted, "I want in." The Golden State Warrior is a North Carolina native and a huge Panthers fan. Jerry Richardson agreed to sell the team this weekend after a Sports Illustrated report revealed that former employees accused him of sexual harassment and using a racial slur.
Spanking your children as a form of punishment can be frowned upon these days, and now there are statistics to back up why you shouldn't do it. A new study published in the Journal of Psychological Science has linked spanking to an increase in problems with children's behavior. The study found that children who had been spanked at age 5 showed a larger increase in behavior problems by age 6 and also by age 8 when compared with children who had never been spanked. The lead author on the study said the fact that knowing whether a child had ever been spanked was enough to predict their levels of behavior problems years later was a bit surprising. It suggests that spanking at any frequency is potentially harmful to children. Data was collected using more than 12,000 American families, and teachers reported the frequency with which kids argued, fought, got angry, acted impulsively, and caused a disturbance. So if you're a parent, you know there's no way to be an expert on parenting, but this is new research to keep in mind.
Officials say an Amtrak train that derailed in Washington was speeding. The National Transportation Safety Board said Amtrak train 501 was traveling at about 80 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. At least 3 people are dead and about 100 others are injured after the train derailed at a curve in the track in DuPont, south of Tacoma. A 132-ton locomotive fell into the southbound lanes of Interstate 5. 2 coaches fell into traffic lanes. 2 others were left dangling from an overpass. A passenger who was in one of them told the New York Times it felt like the end of the world. One of the first people on the scene was a civilian named Daniel Konzelman. He was driving to work with his girlfriend when the train crashed. He said emergency training he received as an Eagle Scout helped him get victims out of that train. One Army medic was on the highway when the train landed on it. Second Lieutenant Robert McCoy told Fox he got out of his vehicle and began tending to the injured.
I remember that I'd had a tourniquet and a CPR mask in my truck, and I grabbed those and I just took off toward the accident. I couldn't afford to be scared. I couldn't afford to be shocked. I had to do what I'm called to do.
It was the first trip of a new, faster Amtrak service traveling from Seattle to Portland. The town of DuPont had fought against the high-speed route for years. They lost. City Councilman Shauna Gassick told the Daily Beast, quote, "We just didn't have any sort of control over any of it. We're all devastated." In a recent report, the NTSB has criticized Amtrak for a safety culture that is, quote, failing. The agency is now investigating the tragedy.
New data released by the Pew Research Institute says 4 in 10 working women, that's nearly half of respondents, report they've been discriminated against because of their gender. The data collected for this study was collected before the current onslaught of sexual harassment allegations came to light. The survey, which questioned 5,000 people, found that women are twice as likely as men to report experiencing gender discrimination. Women say the top way they experience it is in how they're paid, because 1 in 4 women say they've been paid less to do the same job as a man, and other research backs up these numbers. Additionally, 23% of women surveyed say their competency has been questioned based on their gender. And finally, both men and women say sexual harassment is a problem in the workplace, but women are about 3 times more likely to report experiencing it.
In a galaxy far, far away, an 8th planet was discovered orbiting Kepler 90, which is a sun-like star located 2,500 light-years away from us. According to NASA, when Kepler 90 was discovered in 2014, it was believed to have had only 7 planets. The addition of an 8th ties it with our own solar system for the most planets orbiting a star. Scientists found the planet thanks to a mix of information from the planet-hunting Kepler telescope and new Google artificial intelligence called machine learning. Google's machine learning technology combs through data collected by the Kepler telescope and identifies signals from possible planets in solar systems outside of our own. Paul Hertz, director of NASA's Astrophysics Division, says, quote, "Just as we expected, there are exciting discoveries lurking in our archived Kepler data, waiting for the right tool or technology to unearth them. This finding shows that our data will be a treasure trove available to innovative researchers for years to come."
A secret Santa made some wishes come true outside of Philadelphia this holiday season. Mike Jarek, host of Good Day Philadelphia on Fox 29 in Philly, has more. Mike?
That's right, Kristen. A secret Santa walked into a Walmart just outside of Philadelphia in Millville, New Jersey, and paid off $40,000 in layaway bills. One of the customers was Kimberly Green. She has 9 grandkids. She loved it.
I said, can we go there? They was like, just wait. I was like, no, we ain't waiting. We need to go now because we need to make sure this is true. So when we got there and we went back to layaway, it was true.
So the Walmart tells us that $40,000 from the Secret Santa paid off the bills on layaway of 200 people from South Jersey.
Mike, do we know anything about who this secret Santa was?
Well, store managers will only tell us that it's a local businessman, but he has about 40,000 thank yous coming his way.
Yeah, I'd say so. Maybe this story will inspire others to give the gift of giving this holiday season. In today's Hometown Stories from Fox 13 Tampa Bay, 5 years ago, Elliot Vasquez was paralyzed from the waist down in a terrible car accident. But after lots of physical therapy and with the help of a walker, he'll be able to guide himself across the stage for his graduation from the State College of Florida. Elliot says his positive attitude has helped him overcome the challenges he's faced.
You're going to see your bad days, but you have to go and balance those bad days with your good days. And you have to go and just surround yourself with positivity.
In our second story from Fox 10 Phoenix, a woman battling brain cancer was able to get some Christmas cheer thanks to her caregivers at Synergy Home Care. Vicki Peterson had her home decorated with garlands, gifts, and flowers. Vicki's daughter, a full-time student, lives out of state, so Vicki's caregivers wanted to make sure she still got the holiday spirit. And it's clear Vicki is having a great time.
Oh, man, I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday.
In our final story from Fox 4 Dallas, the Grand Prairie Police Department is helping hundreds of families in need during the holidays, thanks to the Santa Cop program. Presents were provided to over 1,200 kids, many of whom were identified through their school district. For the past 21 years, Detective Heath Wester has been in charge of the program. Now he's retiring after more than 2 decades on the force. Detective Wester says it's a bittersweet moment, since helping those in need is what his job is all about.
Bitcoin has entered the real estate market. The digital currency, which can be exchanged between users without an intermediary or bank, is popping up as an acceptable way to pay. In fact, real estate site Redfin has a listing for a Miami penthouse that's only accepting Bitcoin as payment, with an asking price of 33 Bitcoin in exchange for the condo valued at $547,000. According to Forbes, listings like these aren't unique to Florida or Silicon Valley, with sellers in other major cities also hopping on the Bitcoin bandwagon. But not everyone's a fan. Since the future of Bitcoin is uncertain, sellers are taking a serious gamble by trusting Bitcoin's current value will hold. As economist Nella Richardson told MarketWatch, quote, switching to a currency with so much volatility puts people at risk in an area that should be a sound, steady investment. While Redfin says the Miami penthouse is their first listing to exclusively accept Bitcoin, only time will tell if it'll be the last.
It's probably one of the most watched movies at Christmas time, playing on an endless loop on some channels. But you might be surprised to hear how much, or should I say how little, one of the stars of A Christmas Story makes in residuals. Zach Ward played bully Scott Farkas in the holiday classic and told Page Six he gets a check of about $1,800 every 2 years. And get this, the movie was filmed in Canada, so he's paid in Canadian dollars, which cuts that check down to about $1,400 with current exchange rates. But Ward is no bully in real life. He says he puts the extra money into a special account for his mom in case she needs it one day. And just for a little perspective here, Jennifer Aniston brings in about $20 million every year off of Friends reruns.
What happens to the world's greatest art collections during a natural disaster? More than 200,000 people have evacuated during the California wildfires, but just up the hill from burning homes in Bel Air, employees at the Getty Center haven't moved a thing. To keep its collection safe, the Getty has a high-tech air filtration system that can keep out smoke and ash. The walls of the buildings use a form of limestone that's fireproof. A sprinkler system protects its windows. There's a 1 million-gallon water tank on site. Other art collections have taken similar steps. After New York was hit by Hurricane Sandy, the Whitney Museum added a flood door weighing over 15,000 pounds. Houston's Menil collection has over 17,000 works of art. During Hurricane Harvey, water pumps running on backup generators kept its buildings and art dry. Most museums run drills to prepare for emergencies, but they use items from garage sales, not priceless works of art.
Studies show listening to music can reduce stress in daily life, especially if it's listened to for the reason of relaxation. And what better way to relax than by listening to music in the shower? Which is why we've got today's top 30 deal, the Fresh Tech Splash Tunes Pro at a special 45% discount. With the Splash Tunes Pro surround sound Bluetooth speaker system, you have the freedom and power to play music, skip songs, and even answer phone calls, all from inside the shower. The waterproof speaker is equipped with a suction cup that sticks to nearly any surface, and it's durable enough to withstand up to a 6-foot drop. The speaker can be safely used in bathrooms, pools, the beach, and other wet environments, and comes in a variety of colors, including blue, gray, and pink. The Fresh Tech Splash Tunes Pro retails for as much as $60, but today you can buy it for just $33. That's again about a 45% discount. And you can get this right now at top30deals.com while they last.
National Geographic is known for its breathtaking pictures, and now the magazine is honoring everyday photographers who capture amazing images. The $10,000 grand prize winner of Nature of the Year photo contest is this picture of an orangutan in Indonesia. The photographer got into the 5-foot deep water to capture the animal in the river filled with crocodiles. Look at that, amazing. The winner of 3 other categories each received $2,500. First place in the aerial category, a shot of a rock pool in Sydney, Australia. As the Pacific Ocean breaks over the rocks, you can barely make out a few people swimming there. In the landscape category, this picture of molten rock spilling over the side of a sea cliff in Hawaii. This went on for less than half an hour. This anemone, photographed in Hood Canal, Washington, won the underwater category. The tentacles illuminate when stimulated with a blue light. These pictures prove that a picture is worth 1,000 words, or in this case, thousands of dollars.
A Christmas nativity pageant went totally off script when a sheep kidnapped baby Jesus. 2-year-old Tegan Benson stole the show at First Baptist White Pine Church in Tennessee when she stole baby Jesus. Dressed as a sheep, she sat quietly for a few moments before getting bored and grabbing Jesus right out of the manger. The new star of the pageant, Tegan, swayed with Jesus in her arms before the girl playing Mary, 3-year-old Kalia Weems, maternally snatched the doll back. But Tegan was one determined sheep. She grabbed Jesus again, and she and Mary fought over the doll. The audience was roaring with laughter as the nativity scene played out a little differently than they had expected. Tegan's mom, Tana, posted the video on Facebook, and it immediately went viral. It now has almost 11 million views.
In a bid to provide the general public with unparalleled views of the Hollywood sign, media mogul Barry Diller, his wife, fashion designer Diane von Furstenberg, and her son, Alexander von Furstenberg, are in the early stages of financing a gondola to the world-famous sign. Variety reports plans for the gondola remain vague, but the estimated cost is between $25 and $30 million. Access to the Hollywood sign has been a major issue for areas. Residents and Hollywood elected officials, residents living near the sign have consistently complained about traffic issues brought about by visitors trying to catch an up-close glimpse of that iconic landmark. However, the president of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce says the idea is still just that, a concept. When Zach Bolster found out that his mom had stage 4 pancreatic cancer, he immediately left his lucrative Wall Street job and moved to a small town in North Carolina to be by her side. Even though his mom, Gloria, has since passed, Zach found a way to help other people battling cancer. Zach told People magazine, quote, "We soon realized what a huge financial and family burden transportation during cancer treatments can be. Some patients resorted to riding the bus, others unfortunately missed their treatment altogether. So he decided to put his business skills to good use and started the company Chemo Cars. It's a software that integrates with Lyft and Uber to provide free rides for cancer patients to and from their chemo treatments. In the past 8 months, they've provided over 2,000 rides. And Zach says his mother's memory inspires him to keep helping others. That's it for today's Top 30. Here are some stories coming up that you need to know. American home prices could be getting even higher. We'll tell you why. Plus, a new study reveals which cities have the worst traffic and how much it costs drivers. And the scientific reason why some people love animals more than others. It's all coming up on the next Top 30.